Hello, fellow peasants. Today I'll be talking about the new trailer for Alien Romulus. Alright guys, so I watched the trailer for Alien Romulus. It comes out in August. It's not directed by Ridley Scott. It's directed by the same dude who did Don't Breathe 2, and Evil Dead. Not a big fan of his work. I've only seen the first Alien and Alien Covenant, and the only reason I've even seen Alien Covenant is because I was on a flight to the Caribbean a long time ago, and it was what was playing on the plane. So I'm not a huge Alien fan in terms of the whole franchise in general. I really love the first film. I think the first film is a classic. It's one of the best horror films of all time. I'm not a massive Alien franchise fan, okay? So keep that in mind when you are taking in what I'm saying here. But as someone who does love the first film, here are my thoughts. What I like about the trailer. The special effects. They have went back to practical effects for this, for the most part, from what it shows in the trailer. I'm not sensing a whole lot of CGI when it comes to the xenomorph and the face huggers and stuff. I'm not seeing a whole lot or any CGI really in terms of the alien at all. Clearly there's CGI involved, what it looks like in some of the outside shots of the ships and things like that. But in terms of the actual aliens, it looks like they're using practical effects here, and that's nice because that is a return to form. That is what the original Alien did, and Aliens. I know Cameron would probably go back and add CGI into Aliens if he could, but this feels old school, okay? So I like that. I like the design of the ship in this. It feels like it's the old ship. It looks similar in design. That looks cool. It looks like it could be intense. It looks like it's going back to the horror roots of the first film. Even by the second film, it was more of an action film than it was a horror film, kind of like a hybrid, as where the first film is very much a horror film. Yes, it's a sci-fi film, but it's a horror sci-fi film. It's a creepy ass movie, and this feels like it's going back to that. Now there are some action scenes in this, like from what I can tell in the trailer, it looks like there are some scenes that are, faster paced or whatnot. But it doesn't look too action. It doesn't look like a lot of. It doesn't look like Aliens action. You know what I mean? It looks like horror action, if that makes any sense. The alien kind of looks gross, like the face huggers look gross. The xenomorph is looking nasty with, the liquid, the spit, saliva coming out of its mouth and whatever. Like, all that looks great. So, like, there's definitely seems like there's some gross out factor here, like there was in the first film. What do I not like about the trailer? What I don't like about the trailer is, this is going to sound ridiculous, I guess, but I wanted an older cast. It feels like they've got like these late teens, early 20s people on this ship, and it's like, what do they do? Are they running the ship? Are they captains? Are these seasoned pilots? At their age, it just seems like, what are you doing on this ship? Are these teenagers or whatever that just stumbled upon the ship? Like, I don't know the story. Like, if you know more about this, let me know. But I'm really, like, in the first film, everyone seemed like they were in, like, at their earliest, like, late 20s. You know what I mean? The crew was, like, in their 30s, 40s, early 30s, late 20s, it feels, in the first Alien. And here it just seems like there's high school, college kids, and that's okay if it's like a slasher film or something, you know what I mean? But we're dealing with Alien. We're dealing with, like, you're in outer space. You got to have the credentials to fly this fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a level of professionalism to get on board these things, to navigate these things, these ships and things like this. It just takes the serious level down a notch when you have late teens, early 20s somethings playing in this type of film, okay? In my opinion. Some of the color grading in this looks a little too saturated, like some of the reds and oranges in this. I know that's a nitpick, but I really love the cold greens and blues and the blacks of the original Alien. There's not a whole lot of warmth to the image in the original Alien. I'm not saying there's none, but you know, it just feels like a very cold, dark setting in the first film. And for the most part, the trailer has some of that, but they lean a lot into like the reds and the greens and the amberish yellows in this. It looks a little bit too colorful in some spots for my taste when it comes to Alien. Okay. And lastly, the cinematography and the fact it was most likely, I'm pretty sure this was shot digitally. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. If this takes place between Alien and Aliens, right? Let's capture that same look. Let's go back. Let's completely mimic the cinematography of that period, right? Like let's make it feel like it belongs to this world. Similar how to the first Omen. Shot wonderfully. It looks like it was shot in the 1970s, shot on film. They mimic the cinematography styles from the 70s, and it feels like it lives and breathes in that same world. This feels like a modern sci-fi film shot on digital, saturation boosted, just too clean looking. And not to say there's no good shots in this. There are some good shots in this trailer, okay? But it's just like, come on, let's take it back. And not just for the sake of taking it back. Like if this was a sequel that takes place way further in the future, way past the other Alien entries, that's one thing, okay? But this takes place in and around the same time as the first two films, okay? So let's try to make it look and feel like that world as much as possible. And I don't think this trailer does it, okay? It's a little too slick. It's a little too slick in my opinion. But that's it, guys. That's my thoughts on the trailer. Will I watch it? Probably not. Unless it comes to streaming. I'm just not a huge fan of the Alien franchise, really. I've only seen number 1, an Alien Covenant. I don't have much energy to watch any of the other ones. Even though I have tons of people telling me to watch Aliens. So at some point I will visit Aliens, the sequel. I do feel that it has the popularity that makes me think, okay, like I'm missing out on something here. But let me know down in the comments below what you think about the trailer for Alien Romulus. Have a good one, peasants. Peace out. Bye-bye.